Hello. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Open Office Hours. I'm Crystal Hinkle. I'm part of the team here at Synchro. I will let the ladies introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, it's Tatiana. Welcome.
Hi everyone, I'm Brandy. Nice to see everyone today. You'll notice my clock that's been standing still for a couple months is gone today.
I know, it looks like Brandy moved. These virtual backgrounds are getting very well done because it actually looks like that's where you're sitting, which looks very...
It is.
It is, of course. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Open Office Hours. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, welcome. This is really a great resource to actually continue to just sign up for or just register for all the dates and join us every Friday. It's a great continuing just education, learning, training. It's also great when you get new employees. Just send them to Open Office Hours because we're happy to answer all of their questions. And that's what we do. We use the Q&A. So the best, if you see us looking over to another screen, we usually pop the Q&A out on a different screen so we can manage those questions that are coming in. And they can be anything. They can be how-tos, deep dive type of questions. They can even be more like, hey, what's the community doing? Ask your peers that are joining us today that might have some recommendations. And then, of course, those of you that are not first timers here in Open Office Hours, we're so happy to have you back. We love doing these. I think that one of the things the gals and I were talking about beforehand was, I think I'm probably just gonna get ahead of this one. So as you're sitting in Open Office Hours, like drum roll please. As you're sitting here in Open Office Hours, and I'm sure you have screens open like we all do, you're probably going to be getting in-app notifications and emails rolling out here shortly because you will now see Snmp is live within the app. It's rolling out as we speak. It is huge.
Yay! I wish we could unmuted clap for everyone right now.
Everyone jump up and down. So what the disclaimer here is that this is a huge module. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Marketing is pumping out content right now that's going to really help walk you through and train you on how to use it. There's a video that I 100% recommend you watching. And what I think we'll probably do is all of any technical questions or anything like that, let's save that for next week. We'll probably use next week to do a little bit of a deep dive here in Open Office Hours. So I don't want to, I want to kind of like preface that. And yes, we've got people breaking down in tears. So exciting. So we're happy that this is happening during our Open Office Hours because it's always, I love Feature Friday. Like I absolutely love that. So yeah, just kind of prefacing everything on that. And then hopefully you're still paying attention to us because now I'm thinking you're probably watching the Snmp video if you've gotten that email. But anyways, whatever questions you've been thinking about, please pop them into the Q&A. I see we've got some questions already flowing in. So go ahead, Brandy.
Sure. And Brian is asking if we'll be performing a demo on Snmp. So this is one of those things that Crystal just mentioned. We're not going to be doing it today just because there's a lot of information and we want to make sure that we're going to be more of experts on this. Since it did just release literally a couple seconds ago. So we're gonna wait until next week to do that. And if you do have any technical related questions, you know, while you're testing over the next week, then feel free to send those over to our support team. They are gonna be they're gonna be the best equipped to help you guys with this right now. I literally have goosebumps and I'm not joking because I've told so many of you guys it's coming soon, and like it's here. So anyways, Brianna is asking happy Friday. We're having an issue for email notifications lagging. Is this common? The main problem is when I assign tickets to our techs, they are not receiving the email or receiving it hours later. Brianna, it's not normal behavior. When you do experience things like this, would be another thing that I would absolutely recommend you email help@syncromsp.com so that they can assist you further with it. We don't have access to troubleshooting or looking at your account while we're on the calls today. Do that, but one thing I do like to mention is in the notification center, make sure that each of those technicians that are supposed to be getting notifications under the ticket section where they can get an email that a ticket was assigned to them or something like that, then you absolutely can choose if it's going to be an email, an in-app notification, however they would prefer or you would prefer them to get notified. Those are set up. Unless you have this set up in a ticket automation as well, that's another place. But definitely reach out to support and that goes for anyone who's experiencing anything that is not normal behavior or that you think should be working differently. Please email support so they can get you help over the week before the weekend.
Awesome. Thank you. One of the questions is regarding SNMP. I'm just going to grab it. It's just saying we already use Domot's. How are we going to be affected? Should we close the account? My recommendation is check out what we're offering for SNMP and then make that decision. It's not going to affect your integration in any way, but if you could get rid of one more tool, all the best for you. So I think the best thing is to test it out. And if it can replace it, excellent. Okay, then I was gonna grab, Daniel wants to know, what is everyone using for documents backup? I was using SolarWinds document backup and I'm thinking about OneDrive. Anything else good? So this is awesome. This is a great question. You know, whoever wants to chime in and let Daniel know what you're doing. One thing I will say is that whatever you do decide, if you're migrating from something like SolarWinds that does have backup built right in, and you're needing something, if you're migrating to Synchro, one just slight recommendation would be to, whatever you do think about it in a temporary format, like maybe don't sign like an annual contract with a backup solution. And that's all I'm going to say about that, but just kind of going to drop that right there. Don't make any permanent decisions right now. Okay, I'll be done with that.
So mysterious. I love it. Next question is from Joshua. He says, is there any way to get a notification in-app every time a ticket is created? Yes, there is. I will show you. If you go over to your admin section and then you head over to your notification center, this is how you can choose how you want to be alerted on the events that are the most important to you. So if you scroll down, you'll see the tickets section is here as well. And so again, whatever it means to you, whatever type of a ticket or whatever it might be, just select that you want it in-app notification right here. It'll pop up a kind of a black square in the top right corner every time that notification comes in, and then you can also view the notifications in that section there. Next question is from Daniel. He says, I'm using Kaseya BMS for ticket tracking now. Any way I can import those into Syncro MSP? So specifically for tickets, you cannot do that yourself. You can, if you go over to the reporting section, if you search for import, there are a lot of other things that you can import: customers, inventory, contacts on a customer per customer level. However, we do have a internal CSV that if you reach out to help@syncromsp.com, they will make that available to you. You can fill out and kind of organize your tickets in that way, and they will actually upload that to your account for you. So I would reach out to help@syncromsp.com.
Awesome. Paul is wondering, we would like to be able to create a script that installs Malwarebytes, runs a scan, cleans up anything in quarantine, and then uninstalls. Can you point me in the right direction? I did confirm that Chocolatey has Malwarebytes in its library. Yeah, so what we actually have, because we have a direct integration with Malwarebytes as well. And I just went to our script library. These I think have been imported. You might need to go to your actual community script library. But we have an install, monitor threats. The only thing that I didn't see right off the bat was an uninstall. But I'm sure that it might be in the community, but just letting you know, we do have a direct integration with Malwarebytes, and then you could run this script as an install script on a policy. And then again, maybe there's an additional line if you want it to uninstall after it's done that. But hopefully this will help get you pointed in the right direction.
Awesome. Thank you, Crystal. Carla says, I would like to see when a contact under a client calls that it would show the contact according to the number instead of just the client's name. Is this a feature? To my knowledge, it is going to pull the customer rather than the contact, unless you guys know something that I don't know. That's how it will be, but it would be a feature request and a really great one. Happy to pass that along for you. And then Thomas also mentioned, thank you so much. We absolutely love this too, when you guys get involved in open office hours and share with other MSPs in the room, because we're not MSPs, so we're not using these outside tools. Thomas is using a document backup solution. I dropped that in the chat box for you guys. So thank you, Thomas. And if anyone has any comments as we're going through here, or workarounds, things like that, feel free to drop those in for us.
Awesome. I'll grab the next one here. Ari. He says, I just hopped in a couple minutes late. Did I hear Snmp? Is that the new feature today? Yes, yes, yes. See, this is what happens when you come late. You miss all the cool, super important stuff up front. But yes, Snmp is here. You should have received emails, notifications, and things like that. If you haven't already, it will be coming like very, very shortly. So yes, that is a new feature today. Question from Larissa, is there a report configuration that shows a breakdown per tech of the amount of money they have invoiced? I can see one based on time they have invoiced, but can't figure out how to show the amount of money. So I'll share my screen. I don't think that there is one built into Synchro, but we do integrate with Domo. It's part of the advanced pricing tier within Synchro. And I was just taking a quick look in here, and it looks like if you tab over to the sales section, it will give you sales by tech and the amount of money that they have invoiced and things like that. So if you are in an active trial of Synchro, you can test this for free for the entire 30 days that you are on a trial. And if you are a current payer of Synchro, you can always upgrade to the advanced tier as well if you needed to. So that is what I would recommend there. You're muted, Crystal.
I was trying to find my Zoom controls, like make it small, and then all of a sudden you can't find it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know I'm muted. I had a question. Ryan asks, are there any plans to add a plugin or extension framework to the web UI? I don't actually know what you're meaning. We do have an open API that you can build extensions like crazy. It's pretty awesome. I can share my screen right now. We also have an integration with Zapier that does help with that as well. So let me just share my screen really quick. If you have more of a specific question, I'm happy to go there. But for now, what I'll do is if we go to let me just go to the admin section. Let me open, I guess I have it open, but let's do another tab because I'm already there for the next question. We do have an open API. So if you hop down here to API tokens here, you can build a ton of extensions and really, really cool things. All you have to go new token. We have some popular ones that we've already have set up, but then you can do custom permissions. So hopefully that answers your question. Again, if there's maybe more that I'm not answering, please let me know. While I'm unmuted, I think I'll grab this. Russ wants to know, when creating a ticket, there's a checkbox that says don't email. I had that selected and the main contact with the client got emailed. What is the checkbox for? It's a really good question. So when you go to create a ticket, you do have the option to say don't email. But if you have this unselected, the way that I have it, that whatever you put in that comment box will email to the customer. So if you don't want that initial ticket creation with the comment to email to your customer, I would make sure you have that checked. Yeah, hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Jordan is asking, do you know whether we will be able to monitor existing server assets using Snmp? Need to query Dell Open Manage Health Status? I truly don't know. Again, I think will be a better question for next week unless you want to reach out to support, unless Crystal, you or Tatiana know the answer to that one. I'm not quite ready to answer those in a SNMP questions yet. We just haven't had the opportunity to play around yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop, this is the knowledge base article. That just went live. So I'm just gonna drop that in there. Like I said, I think you're gonna get the email and all this information anyways, but I'll send that over to you.
Awesome, thank you. And then a nice little comment here. Synchro's like the Tesla for MSPs. Love how you guys engage with your customers. Thank you. We appreciate that you guys notice, because we absolutely love doing these sessions for you guys. It really does make our day. And then Joshua's asking, this is a great question, and I get this pretty often. So I was wondering, when I go to an asset, the picture of their screen, while Synchro Live is always blurry, is there any way to increase the resolution? And I'm just going to show you what he's referring to here. So there's going to be different sections throughout Synchro where you can see the live preview of the screen. It is blurry for a reason. So there's not going to be a way to increase the resolution here. The background is, we want you to be able to see if the customer is actively working on their computer, if maybe they have something important pulled up, but you to be able to see, all of the pictures in their backgrounds and things like that. So it's really just meant to be a quick glimpse of, are they currently on their device or are they not? So at the time, I'm sure if they have any plans to change that, but for now, the answer would be no on that one.
Joshua says mine is also blurry when I connect using Synchro versus Screen Connect. Yep, yeah, it's for that purposes of being able to kind of just see if the user's active or not without seeing anything sensitive. Maybe you want to give them a heads up that you're about to remote in, seeing that they are on that endpoint. And Daniel from the group also mentioned that as well.
Yeah, and Joshua, I don't know if you're referring to the live preview with Screen Connect. I don't know if they have that, but if you're noticing it's actually connect, then I would make sure I reach out to support just to see if that's normal behavior, because it doesn't sound like it would be.
How often does the screenshot refresh? I thought it was every 30 seconds. Is that right?
I know it's at least that, because I'll go in and I'll change something and do it, and literally 10 seconds later, it is updated. So yeah.
Yep.
Pretty frequent. You're not going to see the mouse move, so I do get questions about that, but it is really frequent.
Awesome. And then, oh, thanks, Ryan. Some clarification. Not so much access via an API, more if I wanted to add my own button to the menu bar, where training dashboard SNMP, to have my own custom programmed view, if I wanted to create custom widget to be used in a dashboard or a report. I don't think we have anything like that planned, like on our dev roadmap. However, I think people have done some really interesting things. I almost think that I don't, like I said, I don't think this is something that we have planned, but I think people have figured out how to do stuff like this, but I don't know that for sure. Like I saw a screenshot, like, you know how you can customize the customer portal colors? I saw someone that had made like the actual Syncro app navy blue.
What? Somebody asked me about that today.
I don't get it. I don't know. It's not something that we're doing, but yeah, I don't know. Interesting things are possible.
That's awesome. Question from Fuzi. We want to bring names from Splashtop to Synchro. What is an easy way? So it might need a little bit more clarification, because with our Splashtop integration, if you guys didn't know it was available, you can find it over in the App Center. But when you're setting up your Splashtop integration, it's not going to actually import your contacts or anything from Splashtop. What the KB is showing me here is that any time that you want to launch into a remote session within Synchro, once you have the Splashtop integration alive, anywhere that you can launch into a remote session, this will turn into a drop-down menu, and you can choose which tool you'd like to use. So again, if you're going to any asset, instead of just Synchro Live, you'll have Splashtop as an option here as well. And so that's what the purpose of the integration is. I don't think it will actually import any of your contacts from there. So let me know if that helps clarify things for you.
Awesome, thank you. And I'm actually going to backtrack on the 30 seconds. It's actually 60 seconds.
Oh.
Just wanted to make sure I don't like when I answer wrong, and I was so confident with that answer. So just
I felt like it too, because I do it all the time, but maybe I just catch it in between that.
Catch it right on time, because I noticed that too. But yes, I want to make sure I'm delivering the proper information. It's 60 seconds, not 30 seconds. And then I'm going to read this one from Miles. I like this. When a new credit card is stored because of expired card or any other reason, the recurring invoice does not update to the new card, therefore not paying the reoccurring generated invoices. This is true if the tech updates or if the customer updates via the portal. A tech must go into the reoccurring invoice and reselect the card. This is extra time and extra tracking for something that should be automatic. If there is only one stored payment, it should be the default payment. That's awesome feedback. I know that like in your notification center, of course, you can be notified, like if the customer went in and changed a card, updated a card, you can be notified if a card is going to expire. But the auto update on the reoccurring invoice, I will definitely pass that along to the team. So thanks for bringing that up.
I can grab one here. Request from Jamel. In the future, I would love to have the ability to upload a contract template and be able to fill it out and email it to a potential customer. I love that. At this time, it is a feature request. At this time, you do have the capability to build an estimate within Synchro, and you can make that available via the customer portal for them to kind of approve or decline, and they can preview the PDF, which is completely customizable by you as well. So that would probably be the closest of kind of something for them to review within their customer portal. Of course, in our contract section, you can, once the customer has signed a contract with you, you can attach it as an attachment here within the contracts. But I do think that is something that can be useful, and I will definitely pass that along for you. And then a update from Fuzi, he said regarding to the splash top, he says we renamed the machine per username to better ID the machines instead of the machine name. So I hear you. I was looking for this setting. I feel like it was within the RMM settings, but I might have to get back to, or ladies, if you can help me. You should be able to rename your assets within Synchro, and at this time I do believe it would be a manual type of a process. Like there was a setting, and again I can't I might have to come back to this one too, where it'll say match the device name or override the device name, but again it would not import that from Splashtop. That would need to be set up by you manually at this time.
Awesome. Thanks, Tatiana. I have a question from Stephen in here. So in the automated remediations, I've tried to set up remediations for a few triggers that I don't see available. Is there any way to remediate these triggers? So let me just share my screen really quickly. I think this is a great section, especially for those who are just trialing Synchro and maybe haven't gotten to automated remediations yet. So I am just going to walk through this real quickly. If you go over to assets and you go to actions and automated remediations, you can set these up to basically do the work for you in the background without having to touch the devices. So what Steven's referring to is if you go into a trigger category, I could say, okay, it is, and I can come down to my list here. Now, if you're adding any type of event log IDs, those will be added in here. If you're adding custom scripts, those will be available in here. And then there are some built-ins. I truly don't know every single one that's already built into here, but you can absolutely add those. I can come in and I could say, okay, if this happens, I want to convert this into a ticket. I want to run a script, email the customer. You can go full circle and remediate this. The nice thing is on the asset activity audit report too, you can get a report on automated remediations too. So it'll let you know if it created a ticket and things like that. It's just very, very helpful to show your value at the end of the month. But you can be really broad or really granular here. And again, if you are adding any custom event log IDs in the policies or anything like that, then those will show up here as well. Hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Jimmy thank you so much for your help. He says, when you edit an asset, there's a use a friendly asset name when you guys are renaming. So that was the setting that I was looking for. So thank you. Yes, if you go to an asset and you edit a device, you can say use a friendly asset name and then update the name here. So hopefully that is helpful. And then there was another question from Jeremy. He says, how did you jump into the customer's portal like that? When I click the button, I'm asked to log in. I think this has to do with the new settings that were shipped for the customer portal. So I know that there's a lot of updates surrounding that. So this is kind of one section of that is you do now have within the, if you go over to your admin section and you go under the customers and portal user permission groups, you now have by default enabled a non-portal users group. And in this section here, you can control someone who is a contact that is not a portal user, what they have access to so that they don't have to log in or anything like that. So for mine, I have all of mine selected. And I don't have any portal users for Larry's business. I do have contacts, but none of them are portal users. If you can see here, mine are totally empty. So that is why I can do like a really quick one-click access, because I have all of my permissions enabled for the non-portal users group. And that's why I'm able to click into here without logging in and see everything. So it's probably going to look different on your side based on if you have what settings you have for that non-portal users group selected, and also if you have any portal users enabled for that customer. Hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thanks, Tatiana. Joshua, I see two things in here for you. So first of all, is there any plan to decrease the amount of time it takes for us to run an automated remediation? Not that I know of, but great suggestion. Would love to hear your thoughts on what you would like to see for this, and we'll pass that along. And then your second question, I would definitely reach out to support. If you're setting up an automated remediation for when a ticket's resolved and it's not sending, or a ticket automation and it's not sending or firing off, I would definitely reach out, and then we'll be able to make sure all of your settings and everything are in line to make sure that this is in fact triggering.
Update from Justin. Thank you, Justin. He says, from my experience, the jump in only works if you have no portal users configured for the customer. Once you configure at least one portal user, the jump in would no longer work. And that's a really good point, because I think that is correct. Again, I don't have any portal users here. I did want to mention, if you guys haven't seen, we are having updates coming to how customer portals are managed, and I believe how contacts are managed within Synchro. So if you go over to our YouTube channel, we have this portal user migration report tutorial that kind of will help you map things and hopefully in the future be able to do more things like updating customers in bulk, portal user invitations in bulk, things like that. So really cool things are on the horizon.
Wow. Our Q&A is empty. This never happens on Fridays. Everyone's like, everyone's playing with Snmp in the background. I know it. Like, what if all of our participant lists just dropped down after that? It's great. We figured you guys would see it anyways, because I know everyone's always got their instance up while we're on it. Oh, Ari says his isn't enabled yet. And two, real quickly, let me just share something while we're on this topic. So if you guys go into the apps or into the admin section, since you can customize the different headings that are up here, what you can do is if you go into your tabs customization, and again, I don't know if this is in here yet or not, but you will be able to check that box for Snmp, and then it'll show up here. So if you want it on the main tab or wherever you would like that located. I know a lot of people get into testing and then don't realize that there's a ton of other options here. So make sure you add that where you would like it up here. And I just like to show that because sometimes it's not enabled because of that button. But
question here, and I'm just going to kind of read through it. So any idea if Synchro Live will improve enough to where we don't have to look around for supporting remote software for Synchro? It's kind of just some comments here about that. It does work, but it's not absolutely optimal. I wanted to share a couple of different things with you. Is I don't know of any concrete plans of us bringing a fourth built-in or fourth integration as we do have already 3. So we do integrate with, as you know, Screen Connect, Splashtop, as well as TeamViewer. I did want to mention that even outside of Synchro Live connectivity, there are other useful features in there as well. So I think it is a good idea to have a backup tool that you can kind of rely on if something isn't working for you with the first tool. So with that being said, again, within the Synchro Live session, we are constantly working to improve not only the connectivity of how quickly the agent is responding and how quickly the remote desktop launches and things like that, but beyond just the connectivity, we do have other really useful modules built into here as well, such as the registry editor, where you can kind of pull all the results instead of the annoying thing where it does one result at a time if you're actually remoted into the endpoint. File system has gotten a ton of updates within the last couple of months. You can now copy, cut, zip, delete, rename, whatever you need to at that point. Event Viewer has been here for a while, but it's still a useful, really useful tool that is part of Synchro Live, just a module built in that you can kind of use things to troubleshoot. You can, and again, all of these built-in modules within Synchro Live, you're doing with without disturbing the end user at all. So we definitely hear you on the remote desktop. It's some people don't experience any lag issues, some people do. And again, because of that, we do offer 3 alternative tools, and hopefully we can kind of continue working on the connectivity portion of it alongside with kind of building out more modules there as well. So hopefully that is helpful to you.
Awesome, thank you. Jeremy says, what? I missed the first 10 minutes of today's call and missed Snmp. Fail. See, you have to come on time and you hear all the juicy stuff. But just to mention that Ari said he did refresh and it showed up. So if you don't notice it in your instance yet, refresh, and then hopefully it'll be there, or log out, log back in, and maybe there will be a little treat for you.
Awesome. I'm just going to read this out loud because I don't have a suggested workaround, but maybe someone in here does. Miles is saying we sometimes need to charge a restocking fee on a return, like a laptop or something like that. According to support, there is no method built in to the refund process to charge a restocking fee or percentage. This seems like an oversight. Do you have a suggestion on a workaround? Again, I'm curious what other folks are doing, because I think I thought the workaround for this was almost like you create a product called restocking fee, and then because you can always update the amount that it is. So I think that, yeah. So Sean's saying we create a non-inventory part for this restock fee. Yeah. So I think that is the workaround for now, but happy to pass that on to the team for sure.
Great suggestion. Justin, here's a question for all 3 of you. You're in a position to hear from a lot of people with the feature requests, as well as your own experience with the software, regardless of if it's in development or if it ever will be. If you could each pick one feature that you wish was in Synchro that's not there yet, what would you personally added to Synchro? No answers, too big or too small.
Well, mine's on the way, so I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm getting my prayers have been answered, so I'm good. It's happening, but I'm not spilling it.
Mine came today, so honestly, that was like after all of you guys for the longest time. That was like my number 1, so I'm super excited.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think for me, it would be cool to see maybe a built-in backend solution. A lot of people ask me for that on demos, and we want the things that you guys want. So as a reflection of that, I would put my vote up there just to make your guys' lives a lot easier, hopefully help it with billing, have it internally and things like that. So I think that one would be my vote.
I would love to have a place I could send you guys that list of everyone's favorite worksheets and automated remediations and things like that.
Oh yeah, that's
almost like a community script library, but it doesn't have to be built inside of Synchro, just even a doc. Maybe I just need to create one. I don't know. You guys send me all of your ideas and I'll just create one.
Awesome. Awesome. Question from Ari. He says, I love the red counters built into the alerts and leads tab headings. Is there a way to enable the same thing for the tickets tab? I would like a red counter for the total tickets and new customer ticket replies in the tickets tab heading, just like it looks like for alerts and leads. I don't know of a way to enable that, but I have passed your request along to the team because I do think that would be really cool. Another question. Oh, Jeremy says, I'll watch the recording when you post it. So yes, these are recorded. The Friday ones are, and they're posted on our YouTube channel. So if you're late, you can always catch it on the YouTube channel.
Yes. And also, I think that as far as the Snmp, we didn't deep dive it. We didn't demo it today. So just be here on time next week, and then you'll see that too. I'll grab a couple of these. We're migrating to Bitdefender. We don't see the free trial. If you go to your Bitdefender app card, it should be there. If it's not, please reach out to technical support. Maybe at some point you had maybe started to like set that up or something like that. So they might need to reset if you're not seeing that. So reach out to help if you go to the App Center and you're not seeing the option to start the trial. Is there any quick way to see what emails the RMM has sent out? Really good question. I think when you say quick, I don't know if you mean quick like per customer or like a report that would show everything, but I will say like if you're like, hey, I wonder if this actually sent to Larry, you can go into the communication section and it'll show like all of the outbound emails that were sent. The other thing is I think there's like a communications report as well. So this would be like a real quick glance. Did that email go out? But then I think that in the report section, I'm not going to run it right now because I think it actually takes a couple minutes to run, but I thought there was a communications. Am I right? I thought there was like a SendGrid. I'll see if I can find it, but that's the quick way to find it in app. And then I think there's a report to like export all communications, but I don't think that's like the quick answer.
At the very bottom, Sean says at the very bottom of the reports.
Communication summary. Sean's like the professional pro user.
He probably knew that without even scrolling through his.
I know.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Question here. Actually, we got two requests coming in at the same time. Jamal says, in the future, can we get the feature to do a bulk or multiple computer uninstall or install of a program? So for the installation of the program, I'll share that one and then I'll let Randy cover the other one since that came in as a separate question. But for the bulk installation of third-party apps, we do have Chocolatey built into Synchro. It doesn't cost you anything. You have a ton of options to choose from. And so in the policy section, this is where you would enable that. Is if you scroll down a little closer to halfway, this is where you could set up your third-party patch management policies. We give you a list of predetermined list of the most popular apps. You tell Synchro how you want it to respond to each one. And if you need custom apps, you can search through Chocolatey. They have closer to 8,000 now to choose from. So whether it's Slack or Zoom, if your customers are now working from home or whatever it might be, again, it really is up to you. You can add any apps that you need and they will deploy onto your customers' endpoints. Or of course, you can also check out our community script library. There's a ton of scripts in there to install different apps. All of them are verified. I usually recommend filtering these by installs. You can see kind of which ones are the most popular, what's everybody else using, and kind of go through the list. And we do have uninstall scripts in here as well. So that would be my recommendation there. And then another question from Jamal, who says, is there a Synchro MSP community forum that we can go to brainstorm and trade information? Yes, there is. For now, it exists on Facebook. If you guys haven't joined yet, we always talk about this Facebook group because if you want to hear from people who are already paying for Synchro and you want to know what they think about it, this is where they all hang out. So this is almost like the inside scoop. I do highly recommend plugging into the community. There's Sean. He says SNMP is live in Synchro MSP today. So you get all the exciting news. You get get people giving their feedback, passing along feature requests. We do have a weekly community development track feature request thread in here where they'll ask what you guys want and things like that. So again, if you're looking for a place for community, that is where it'll be, and we'll drop that into the chat box for you.
Sean, I noticed that was posted 35 minutes ago and this started 39 minutes ago. So seems to me like you're doing some other things in the back end. No, I'm just messing around. We always know you guys you've got your Synchro instance up and on Facebook, and that's what makes this such a fun experience too. So we appreciate that. That's fun. And Tatiana, you covered it, but there was someone who mentioned that a community option would be nice. So she just shared that. And so surprised, there is a really awesome library in there for you. And then as far as the uninstalled, yes, we don't have an ETA on that. We get that asked quite often. Tatiana went through how to install en masse, but uninstall, not currently there without using one of those scripts. Hopefully soon. That would be another one of those on the top of my list.
So I'm going to throw the question back. If you could have one feature, I just want to hear one from everybody. Throw it in the chat. I'm just curious. We're just going to.
No, like plus ones, and yeah, that'd be cool. Just your one feature.
The one.
We've got some people out there who pay attention to these, and
what would take it to just the next level for you and your business? Curious what that would be.
And two, if you're not part of the Facebook group already, they've been shipping, like they've been doing I know we mention this all the time, but the quality of life features, doing like a little contest, and every single week a new feature has been shipping from the community. It's awesome. So that's just an addition to all the cool stuff that they're already working on. But those quality of life features, really where it's at. Network scan, uninstall, all caps, 30 L's at the end. Ticket time grouping by categories, uninstall. Okay, uninstall's popular. Uninstall.
Complete with the mobile.
Another uninstall of lots of those. Wow. Project management.
We hear you loud and clear.
I love it.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Sean is the master multitasker.
Yep.
That's what he says. It's a good quality to have.
Awesome. What questions? You've got to have questions.
Mobile app. I would like to know, because Brian says complete synchronization with the mobile app. I would like to know what features you would like to see in the mobile app, since we don't have questions currently. I would like to hear more about that, because we hear improved mobile app, but what is it? Chat. Gotcha. Interesting.
Yep. I've heard. We hear you on the chat thing, so I think that's actually like going to be worked on soon. Yeah. Sweet. Yep. Chat notification. Oh, on your phone or in the app? I thought that was a thing. Maybe not.
You can. So just while we're going through this, let me just share something with you. If you go into your notifications, you can get notified on chats. They did add shortly after releasing the chat feature a couple months ago, they did add 4 different options in here. So you could get like a push mobile notification or an SMS message if you did get a new chat while you weren't on your desktop version. So you can get notified differently.
I'm gonna read. Justin is funny. Curious about like our forum right now, and our community is on Facebook. We would like to have, an alternate option aside from Facebook. I think it's funny you got Facebook again just so that you could be in the community, which is the only reason that I have 0 friends. I like don't ever, but I like, not that I don't have friends in life. I'm just saying I don't have Facebook friends. I just have the app so that I can read like what's going on. Cause yeah, ADHD is like it. He's saying he has ADHD when it comes to Facebook, and you're like, you know, it kind of takes away your productivity. So 100% understand. I think we're going to have an answer for that here soon too.
Question from Brianna, in the mobile app, how can I add another tech as a CC to the ticket? Is it possible? I'm checking on my mobile app and I don't see a way to do it, but I might just be missing it. So you do have obviously the ability to see who's assigned to the ticket, but I don't see a way to subscribe to the ticket or be added as a CC at this time, unfortunately. I'll pass that along for you.
Ari, right to support. So he just says my Snmp seems to be broken. That's not good. He said I'm trying to add an asset. I pick the customer fine, but when I pick the monitoring asset, the whole window goes blank. Anyone else having this issue? Just right to support. I'm sure they are going to be on queue with anything that comes in today. You know, this is going to be, it's new. So anything that you're noticing that's not normal behavior, to me, that doesn't seem like normal behavior. Definitely reach out to support.
I'm forwarding that right now too, just because.
Oh, and Jeremy has a little tip. He just says for people that want to force an install, that is also on Chocolatey. If you punch out the Chocolatey website and they show the PowerShell script to run that installer and uninstaller, you can build a script in Synchro that executes that command. This lets you push nearly any app install on demand. Awesome.
What? That is
super helpful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell everybody that on my demos now. That's awesome.
I'm going to just pull this up really quickly. Okay, I'm going to go into the policy. I'm assuming this is where I haven't even played around with the different scripts. I usually just go straight to Chocolatey and search for different apps in here. So I'm just going to go here real quickly, punch out, add application, go here. And then he's saying it will give you, if you find your packages, it'll give you an uninstall and install script in here. So that's pretty cool. Awesome. And then you can add that into Synchro.
He said, I built a script that passed it down. It's import module, and you kind of put it into the Q&A section. So Jeremy, have you shared that in the Facebook group previously? You think that would be the easiest way instead of us kind of, I don't know if all of you guys can see the Q&A. And for those of you that are watching this recording in the future, maybe if you can share that in the Facebook group, that would be greatly appreciated. That sounds amazing. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm going to grab this one. We would like to send an invoice with total hours of work for all tickets. How do we send the ticket details along with the invoice? So there's like, this feels like a yes and no style question or like preference, I guess. So let me just share my screen really quick. So the way that it's set up right now, if you were to create a reoccurring invoice and add any pending ticket charges, it doesn't, I think this actually was a request. It doesn't total them all up into one. It brings over each additional line item. And so like, for example, what I'm referring to, I'm just going to go into one. If you pull all of your pending ticket charges here onto a reoccurring invoice, it'll list each one on the actual invoice, and then you can customize what each line item says. So if your customer, if you don't want them to see each line item, like you could technically just add up all the pending charges, create an invoice with the total, and then send like a customer detail report that shows the line items. If they want the line items separate from the actual reoccurring invoice, if they don't mind the details just within the reoccurring invoice, you would do this, and then you can head over to your admin section and you can customize what those actually say. So if I go to admin and then we show, I think we show this almost, I think we should do like maybe there should be a video on YouTube, because we show this a lot. If you go to tickets and preferences, if you go to additional settings, I think sometimes it's hard to find because it's down here, but this is where you would customize what each line item would say for your customer, so that whether you're having that on your recurring invoice or in a customer detail report, you can have it structured in the way that you want them to be able to view that information. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, there's a comment here from Jimmy. He says, add me to the I hate Facebook column. Search is useless. Get notifications from something that happened days ago, even if it just, as if it just happened. The order of things is hard to track. I hear you on that one. We'll definitely pass it along to the team. We do want to build a community forum that's going to be super slick. Maybe you can upvote feature requests. Maybe you guys can share scripts in a kind of safe way. So I do think that is something that, can I change my answer? I want to change my answer. If we're asking for feature requests for Synchro, I do think the community forum, that would be probably one of my top 3. So yes, I will definitely pass that along.
Awesome. Neil wants to know about maybe a new feature, sales management support, whereby you can manage progress of MSP sales, data like first contact, inquiry, details, quote, progress, plus attached docs. Yeah, I would love to see some additional CRM functionality built in. One thing I do like to just, because I think about this almost like if I, as a salesperson, would use Synchro, what would I do and how would I manage my, like, all of my customers? One of the things that I like to show is that what did I search? Oh, I hit enter before I got to Mr. Larry here. I really heavily would rely on custom fields, and you could have like lead status, where they're at. You could have drop downs where you're saying like first contact, contact again. You could add reminders here, follow up in 2 weeks. You could do that. The other part of this is that you could, when you're utilizing custom fields in a way that's structured like that, then you could create your custom, like customer searches, where you're like, I want a list of all of my customers that the custom field is contact again or contacted first time or something like that. So you could create them as customers and kind of, this is a total workaround, but I'm just saying, this is like, if I were to do this, this is how I would do it. So just some suggestions there that might be helpful.
Yeah, and I have one more just little tip to that, and you've probably sorted this out already, but I just wanted to show the leads too, because you can have the leads module and put them through like, okay, I've had first contact, and you can absolutely add attachments. But like Crystal was mentioning, every lead is going to create a customer. So you would be able to add additional custom fields and things like that. And you can even create, what I like is creating drip campaigns based on a certain number of days since a new lead's created. So since it creates a customer, I could say 1 day since a new customer is created, or 14 days, and just specifically make sure it's my leads. And this again is going to be a drop down because it's a custom field that we've created. But you can kind of mix the leads module with the customer module and do some pretty neat stuff.
Awesome. Ari says Momentum is another CRM he's trying that integrates great with Synchro. So if you want to use an outside tool that does integrate with us, that might be another cool one to look at.
Yep, and just as of today, like, you're not going to see that in our App Center, just so you, like, you'd have to go through, Zomentum built it, so you'd have to go that direction. I think that might change in the future, but you wouldn't find the app card in our App Center as of right now.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time. Someone will be like, oh, I heard you guys from this and that different other program. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize we have an integration with them. It's because of the Open REST API and kind of the ease of setting up integrations with us. So yes, a lot of apps that integrate with us aren't necessarily listed in our App Center because it wasn't built from our side.
I do have someone asking, anonymous, is it Dennis? Who is it? How many customers does Synchro have in Canada? I truly don't have the answer to that, but we do have a lot of Canadian users. And I do notice in the Facebook group too, especially because sometimes you guys have some special tax rates and such, that they're communicating with each other on ways that they're handling it. So it's another plug for Facebook, but I have seen quite a few of our Canadian users connecting in there. But we have quite a few. We've got people all over.
Yes, we do. It's lovely. Okie dokie. It's winding down. Winding down. No questions right now. Okay. What do we want to talk about? We've got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Anything? Anybody? We can always end early. Oh. This is like Brandy's top question, I think, that she's been getting all week. Do you want to take it or you want to rest on this one and I can take it?
It doesn't matter.
The question is, are there ticket queues or can we assign tickets to departments, such as assigning to tier 1, tier 2, or security? Again, kind of like a yes and no response here. What we do have is saved ticket searches. So if you go to tickets here, we don't have groups. Like you couldn't put like 3 technicians in tier 1, for example. But if you go to, clicking all sorts of weird buttons today. If you go to tickets, you can hop up here and create a new save ticket search. So you could say like, I want to see all the tickets that have this status that's assigned to this person and that kind of thing. And each technician, if you set it as their default when they log in, it is specific to the user. So you could create a default view for each user. And then again, you can have multiple saved searches. So if you're like really quickly, I want to look at anything that's resolved, or I want to look at anything that's waiting on the customer or something like that, you can use save ticket searches. But we have been definitely hearing this request a lot to have like groups of technicians, different queues. So we're listening for sure on that one.
Yeah, and with that, it's just funny because I was reading a long post yesterday about this. We do have a lot of people that are coming from ConnectWise currently, or looking at Synchro from ConnectWise, and there's a very good group of you guys, probably about 9 of the 10 people I speak to a day, and I'm seeing everyone connect on the Facebook group. Again, I'm mentioning it because I've seen some really good stuff coming from that group lately, and you're used to multiple ticket boards, and this is how they're setting them up, or having multiple mailboxes that are creating a different type, and then they're filtering it by different types. And it's been really, really helpful. I've actually learned a ton just by reading the group and seeing what everyone else is doing for workarounds. So that's a great place to look as well.
Awesome. Leah wants to know, where do I go to see feature requests and upvote them? So yeah, this is what we were talking about. We don't really have like an actual forum where you can upvote or downvote. We right now are using our Facebook community group, and we definitely look at every feature request that's there. You can also write to help@syncromsp.com to request things. I think in the future we'll have something available that includes upvoting and downvoting them.
Fuzi asks, Jeremy, can you make us a video? I think that's in response to the chocolatey scripting ninja skills that you were talking about earlier. So that would probably be done in the Facebook group.
And then Anthony's asking, will an Snmp walkthrough video be coming soon? I do believe they will be posting a video soon. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure.
Jeremy says he will post something. Oh, and Anthony said, never mind, an email just came in. So perfect. See, everyone's multitasking today. You see your video, and now when we get off the phone, everyone's going to go watch their video and play around.
Yep.
Look at that timing. Perfect.
I'm just glad you guys got the video when we were done, because then you'd be trying to ask us all your questions that we don't know the answers to yet.
Awesome. Yes, we'll end this. Now everyone go watch that video and check it out. Use SNMP over the weekend, and we'll hopefully, next week we'll have a little bit more of a deep dive for you. But happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you all next week. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
Bye.